Ever feel like you're just scratching the surface of, like, well, yourself?
About to get a whole lot deeper, because today we are diving headfirst into the world of biochemistry.
We're talking cells, DNA, proteins,
Yeah.
all those tiny pieces that make us, well, us.
Think of it like a journey right into the heart of a bustling city, except this city exists inside every single one of your trillions of cells.
Okay, hold on. A microscopic city? I'm
Hmm.
so in. But where do we even start with something like that?
Well, every city needs a command center, right? Like in a cell, that's the nucleus.
Right, the nucleus, home to those all-important DNA blueprints.
Blueprints that dictate everything from your eye color to even like your predisposition to certain
That's
diseases.
like the library of you, basically.
Exactly.
But, okay, what about the construction crews we hear so much about, like the proteins? Where are those guys made in our city?
Picture bustling factories, humming with activity.
Okay.
That's the endoplasmic reticulum, or we call it the ER for short.
Okay,
The rough ER, that one's studded with ribosomes, the actual protein assembly lines.
the assembly lines, got it.
And nearby, you got the smooth ER acting like a detox center,
Okay.
breaking down those harmful substances, even producing like those vital steroids your body needs.
Okay, so we've got our blueprints, we got our factories. How do those proteins actually get delivered throughout the cell? Like rush hour traffic in there must be insane.
You're not wrong. It's a well-oiled machine, though. That's where the Golgi apparatus steps in, acting
Oh,
like a postal service. You know,
okay, yeah.
it packages and ships those proteins to their final destinations, both inside and outside the cell.
But none of this would even be possible without a power source.
Exactly.
Gotta
Yeah.
have that energy.
Which brings us to the mitochondria.
The infamous powerhouse of the cell.
You got it.
I remember struggling to keep that term straight back in school.
What's fascinating, though, is that the efficiency of your mitochondria can actually influence your overall energy levels.
Really?
Yeah, it's even linked to aging. When these powerhouses start to falter, like the effects are felt throughout the entire cellular city.
Wow. Okay. That puts a whole new spin on your cells are aging.
It's true.
Okay. But even cities need a good cleanup crew, right?
Yeah.
What happens to, like, all the waste products in a cell?
Cells are incredibly efficient at recycling, I'll say that. The lysosome, that acts like a garbage disposal, breaks down waste using powerful enzymes.
Enzymes, okay.
And for the really, like, tough jobs, we got specialized units called peroxisomes that step in.
Peroxisome, okay.
They handle things like breaking down harmful substances, even playing a crucial role in the health of your brain and your lungs.
It's amazing to me how much, like, organization exists within something so tiny.
Right.
Makes you wonder what other secrets are hidden within these microscopic cities.
Well, we haven't even touched on the scaffolding that holds everything together, the cytoskeleton.
Oh, right. The cytoskeleton. I always read about the cytoskeleton.
Imagine a network of like intricate roadways constantly buzzing with activity.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Tell me more about these, like, cellular highways.
So you got microtubules, they act like those highways, transporting molecules and building structures like cilia and flagella. Those help with movement.
Okay.
Then you've got microfilaments, kind of like muscle fibers of the cell, enabling things like muscle contraction.
Oh, wow.
And then lastly, you got intermediate filaments. They provide structural support, making sure the city maintains its shape.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like this, like, intricate interplay of structures that allows cells to function with such precision.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
It's mind-boggling. But let's zoom back in on those DNA blueprints in the nucleus for a sec. How is all that information organized and accessed?
Think of DNA as a massive, massive library. If every book was left open all the time, it would be total chaos.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's where chromatin comes in. It's like a complex filing system with DNA coiled around proteins called histones. Keeps everything nice and organized.
So it's not just about storing the information. It's about making sure it's accessible at the right time.
100%. The level of organization is insane.
That's fascinating.
Euchromatin, that's like the open shelves in our library, readily accessible for gene expression. Then we have heterochromatin, kind of like the closed-off sections, keeping genes inactive until they're needed.
Wow. It's a very dynamic process then.
Very dynamic.
And I imagine this process of gene regulation is critical for everything, from development to disease, right?
Absolutely. It's like a tightly controlled orchestra with each gene playing its part at the right moment.
I like that.
Speaking of controlled processes, cells don't just exist in a static state. They're constantly...
Right. We got to talk about cell division.
There you go.
It's like the city is growing and it needs to create, like, new boroughs.
Exactly. And just like a well-run city planning department, The cell cycle ensures that this growth happens in a very controlled manner. We've got G1, where the cell grows and prepares for DNA replication. Then in the S phase, it's like hitting copy-paste on the entire DNA library. That way, each new cell gets a full set.
And then G2, that's like double-checking the blueprints before
Yeah.
construction begins on those new burrows, yeah.
Precisely. And finally, the grand finale, mitosis. The cell physically divides, resulting in two identical daughter cells,
Wow.
each ready to carry out its own tasks.
It's like watching a perfectly choreographed dance.
Yeah.
But how does the cell know when to move from one phase to the next? Like, what's the signal?
The traffic signals of the cell cycle. Cyclin-dependent kinases, CDKs, they give the green light at critical checkpoints. And just like any well-regulated city, there are safeguards in place, too. Tumor suppressors, they act like the brakes, preventing uncontrolled division that could lead to problems, like cancer.
Right, right. It's incredible how much we can, like, glean by simply observing these intricate processes. But, okay, how do scientists even study something so small? Like, how do they even see it?
It's like being a detective in a microscopic world.
Oh,
We
really?
have an array of ingenious tools, from PCR, which acts like a DNA photocopier, to CRISPR-Cas9, that revolutionary gene editing tool that's transforming like medicine and beyond.
CRISPR's been in the news a lot lately.
It has.
But let's back up for a sec. What about those, like, classic techniques? The ones that laid the foundation for all these, like, cutting-edge tools?
It's the trusty tools of the trade.
Right.
Blotting techniques like southern, northern, and western blots, they allow us to identify specific molecules, DNA, RNA, proteins. It's like searching for a specific book in that vast cellular library.
Okay.
We've got options.
And if we want to analyze a whole population of cells at once, what then?
That's where flow cytometry comes in. It's like a high-tech cellular census, identifying and sorting cells based on their unique characteristics.
Wow. It's incredible how each of these tools provides, like, a unique window into the workings of a cell.
It really is. And we haven't even touched on techniques like microarrays, which allow us to study the expression of thousands of genes simultaneously.
Wow.
Or ELISA, a cornerstone for studying like proteins and their interactions. And for visualizing those DNA blueprints directly, we've got karyotyping and phage.
It's like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of this microscopic universe that's inside us. What an incredible journey.
And the most exciting part, new discoveries are being made all the time. The field of biochemistry is constantly evolving, offering new insights into the fundamental processes that govern life itself.
It really makes you appreciate the sheer complexity and elegance of these tiny living cities within us, all working tirelessly to keep us, functioning.
Exactly. Really makes you wonder what other secrets are these remarkable structures holding, just waiting to be unlocked.
Who knows what the future holds? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Of course, anytime.